and welcome to the official launch of the Window 1 call for proposals of the Regional Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises Unleashing the Blue Economy of the Caribbean Matching Grants Program. We would like to recognize and welcome the permanent secretaries and government officials from St. Lucia, Grenada, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You have provided tremendous support in the advancement of the Blue Economy agenda. We also warmly acknowledge representatives from our strategic partner, the World Bank, as well as our colleagues from the National Project Implementation Units, specially invited partners, business support organizations, and all micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs. We are delighted to have you with us as we continue to empower MSMEs and strengthen our blue economy across St. Lucia, Grenada, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am Farzana Yusuf Leo, the project manager responsible for the Unleashing the Blue Economy of the Caribbean project, or UBEC, at the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Commission. And I will be guiding you through the launch of this call for proposals this morning. Before we begin, please note the following webinar etiquette and housekeeping reminders. All participants have been automatically muted, and audio contributions will remain disabled during the event. However, please post your questions in the Zoom chat box at any time. The team will compile and address them during the question and answer session near the end. The event is being recorded and will be shared following the session. Now, it gives me great pleasure to begin this morning's proceedings with formal welcome remarks. This launch marks a crucial step in the journey of the UBEC series of projects, a transformative 15-year World Bank-funded regional initiative. UBEC is not just a project, it's a shared vision for a more resilient, sustainable, and prosperous Caribbean. In this first 5-year phase, we are already seeing coordinated action across Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, alongside the work of the OECS Commission. Our focus is clear: to rebuild economic activities by using our precious marine resources in a sustainable and integrated way. We are targeting 3 interconnected sectors that are vital to our region: tourism, fisheries, and waste management. The goal is straightforward: to promote economic growth, enhance livelihoods, and generate sustainable jobs, all while preserving the health of our ocean ecosystems. The challenges of the recent past, particularly the global pandemic and the persistent threat of climate change, have highlighted the urgent need for adaptive infrastructure and resilient enterprises. Our MSMEs, which are the backbone of our economies, felt these shocks acutely. This is where the Regional MSME Matching Grant Program comes in. As a key financing mechanism under Component 2 of UBEC, it is designed to fuel private sector-led growth and investment in innovative, climate-resilient blue economy activities. I especially want to emphasize our commitment to addressing the financing needs of women entrepreneurs. We recognize the disproportionate impact the pandemic had on women-led businesses, and we anticipate that this program will provide support and outreach to these businesses. With this, I once again welcome each and every one of you to this launch. I now invite Mr. Chamberlain Emmanuel, Head of the Environmental Sustainability Division at the OECS Commission, to deliver his opening remarks. Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, Farzana, and good morning to everyone. Good morning, distinguished guests, partners, and colleagues. Let me first extend again warm greetings to the permanent secretaries from Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, whose continued partnership and leadership remains central to advancing the blue economy agenda across our region. I also wish to acknowledge our strategic partner for the blue economy, the World Bank, also our national project implementing teams, our business support organizations, OECS Commission colleagues, and of course, the many micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs, and other curious persons joining us online. Today's launch marks another important milestone under the Unleashing the Blue Economy of the Caribbean, or UBEC project, implemented by the OECS Commission and participating member states with funding from the World Bank. The Regional MSME Matching Grants Program represents our collective effort to translate the blue economy from policy into practice, from aspiration into action, by empowering MSMEs operating in blue tourism, fisheries, and waste management to grow sustainably, innovate, and create lasting impact. Under the first call for proposals launched in October 2024, we awarded 28 grants at a total value of US $590,000, or approximately 1.6 million EC dollars, to MSMEs across the participating member states. These enterprises are already demonstrating how targeted support can unlock innovation, expand local production, extend value chains, and strengthen community resilience. Their success proves that MSMEs are not just participants in the blue economy, they are its driving force. Today, we officially open the second call for proposals under Window 1, providing an opportunity for more MSMEs to scale up, adopt sustainable practices, and align their operations with blue economy principles. This call emphasizes innovation, collaboration, and sustainability, three pillars critical to ensuring that the gains made so far are deepened and sustained. The theme for this launch, Transforming Lives Through the Blue Economy, Empowering MSMEs for a Sustainable Future, captures exactly what this program stands for. Through these grants, we are not only helping businesses to grow, we are investing in people, strengthening livelihoods, and building communities as the foundation for long-term resilient prosperity across our island economies. So on behalf of the OECS Commission, I extend sincere thanks to our partners, the national counterparts, and especially our MSMEs, whose drive and creativity continue to inspire this initiative. We look forward to another successful round of applicants and to seeing how your ideas will continue to unleash the potential of the blue economy across the Eastern Caribbean. As we move forward, the OECS Commission remains steadfast in its vision towards a model blue economy region, with a mission to ensure that every entrepreneur with an interest in a bluer, more resilient Caribbean has the opportunity to make it a reality. I thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, for these inspiring opening remarks. We will now hear from Ms. Natalia Magradze, Senior Environmental Specialist at the World Bank, and she will share remarks on the continued partnership between the OECS and the World Bank under the UBEC project. Ms. Magradze?
Thank you so much, Farzana, and thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, Mr. Chamberlain Emmanuel. It's truly a privilege to speak on behalf of the World Bank team as we launch the second call for proposals for the OECS Regional MSME Matching Grant Program, which is a cornerstone of the larger Unleashing the Blue Economy in the Caribbean project. First, I just want to follow in Mr. Emmanuel's footsteps and congratulate the 28 MSMEs from Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines who secured the grants in the first round. Their innovation is helping to shape the future of the Caribbean blue economy, and we really look forward to seeing how their businesses will grow and inspire others across the region. Unleashing the Blue Economy in the Caribbean project, shortly we call it UBEC, is a partnership between the World Bank, the OECS Commission, and the governments across the Eastern Caribbean. Our shared vision is to unlock the potential of marine coastal resources, drive sustainable growth, and create new opportunities for communities and entrepreneurs. The shared vision is being realized through OECS Commission's strong leadership and deep collaboration with member states. Let me share just 2 facts that highlight why MSMEs are at the heart of this transformation. First, in the Caribbean, MSMEs account more than 70% of jobs and over 50% of the overall GDP. Second, in tourism alone, which is the lifeblood of many island economies, as you know, over 80% of businesses are MSMEs, providing local jobs, authentic experiences, and driving innovation. They are truly the engine of economic growth and resilience in the region. And honestly, without them, the ambition of resilient, sustainable development is impossible to realize. So UBEC, we're investing in SMEs, again, as Farzana said, the backbone of our economies. And in the first call for proposals, we awarded 28 MSMEs. These businesses are leading the way in fisheries, marine tourism, waste management, all sectors that are vital for economic recovery and climate resilience. The program also delivered tailored training and capacity building to these companies in St. Lucia, with more similar programs rolling out in Grenada and St. Vincent and Grenadines this month. So today, as you've heard already, we are opening the second call for proposals, and the program is designed to help MSMEs grow, improve productivity, extend market reach, create jobs, especially for women, as Farzana noted, to build resilience in the face of global challenges. So why do MSMEs matter so much for blue economy specifically? Apart from being the innovators and job creators, which we talked about, MSMEs are also stewards of the natural resources. So supporting these enterprises means strengthening local communities, diversifying income streams, and safeguarding the assets that make Caribbean unique. And as you know, the Matching Grown program, it goes beyond just funding. It provides business development services, targeted training, and networking to help MSMEs succeed and scale up. Every dollar invested in MSME through this program is strategically leveraged. So for example, in the tourism sector, grant of $10,000 to a local ecotourism operator can enable the business to upgrade its facilities, train staff, market its services internationally. The initial investment often attracts additional private capital, increasing the visitor spending, creating new jobs, so multiplying the effect far beyond the original grant. So studies in the Caribbean have continuously showed us that every dollar invested in MSME, up to $4 in local economic activity can be generated, benefiting suppliers, transport providers, community artisans, etc. So by investing in MSMEs, we're not only supporting individual businesses, we are catalyzing broader economic growth, fostering innovation, and building resilient communities across the Caribbean. So my call to action today is simple. If you are MSME in the blue economy, seize this opportunity. Apply for the grant, join the training program, and become part of this movement transforming the Caribbean. So our partners, stakeholders, thank you. Thank you for your continued support, for your collaboration. Let's work together to make waves of positive change. Thank you, and best of luck to all the applicants. Back to you, Farzana.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Magradze. We will now pause for a short video presentation by Jacques Compton, our communications consultant. It will give us a closer look at the UBEC project and its impact across the region.
Hi, just give me a few seconds and I will share.
Sure.
The OECS member states are connected by beautiful blue waters. Our marine ecosystems, such as coral reefs, mangroves, seagrasses, sandy beaches, and rocky shores, provide a wide array of goods and services.
At a near 99% of our total space, the ocean is a significant pillar to sustainable development, resilience for a better life for the people of the OECS.
The blue economy really is defined by the World Bank as an economy that really looks at the sustainable use of your resources in the marine environment, so that economic growth, that economic development based on the marine resources, but also looks at that conservation aspect as well.
For this reason, the OECS Commission and the World Bank launched UBEC, Unleashing the Blue Economy of the Caribbean.
The Unleashing the Blue Economy in the Caribbean project, or UBEC, is an initiative in collaboration with the World Bank, where 3 of our member states, that is Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, do have the opportunity to really begin to see tangible and practical benefits and activities in what we refer to as the blue economy, or that is an ocean-based economy.
UBEC focuses on 3 economic sectors: fisheries, tourism, and waste management.
It is being implemented as a series of projects over 15 years. And we are currently in the first phase, which lasts from 2022 to 2028.
UBEC is designed to help harmonize regulations and boost cooperation among participating member states to address transboundary issues in the same economic sectors we mentioned earlier: tourism, fisheries, and waste management.
UBEC focuses on strengthening the enabling environment for the blue economy, economic recovery from the impacts of COVID, as well as resilience of selected coastal communities and assets.
The UBEC project contains 4 components.
Component 1 is the strengthening of governance, policies, and capacity building. Component 2 is the scale-up of access to finance and infrastructural investment. Component 3 is the contingent emergency response component. And component 4 is the project management, monitoring, evaluation, and communication component.
And various countries would have decided what are the priority activities. There will also be, both at the national and regional level, the activities to fill in some of the key policy and regulatory gaps to ensure that there is the enabling environment to support the implementation of and the growth of the blue economy in these countries.
The Regional MSME Marshall Grants Program serves as a financing mechanism to support micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in 3 key sectors. These are coastal tourism, fisheries, and waste management. The program was designed to improve access to finance and create the perfect ecosystem to enable MSMEs within the blue economy to thrive. The program is segmented into 2 windows where MSMEs can access grant funds. Within window 1, individual MSMEs can apply for grants ranging from $5,000 to $25,000. Within window 2, value chain groups consisting of 2 or more MSMEs can apply for grants ranging from $100,000 to $200,000.
For a business under the Blue Economy to receive funding from the Regional MSME Matching Grants Program, you must meet its criteria.
1, it must be legally registered in either Grenada, St. Lucia, or St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 2, it must provide articles of incorporation business name registration, or any other documentation which substantiates the legal character of the entity in the country in which it operates. 3, it must be in operation for a minimum of 2 years. And this must be supported by bank statements over the last 2 years. And lastly, it must have less than 50 employees and generate under $1 million per year.
The regional component of the UBEC focuses on enhancing the policies related to tourism, fisheries, and waste management. With regards to the fisheries sector, attention is being paid to illegal, unreported, unregulated practices. Using lessons learned under previous development projects, policies are being developed to improve waste management models. Under tourism, the UBEC will explore national policies for enhanced management of the yachting, cruise shipping, and diving sectors. As we mentioned earlier, in addition to the OECS Commission's own UBEC initiative, each participating island manages its own UBEC project with its own national priorities. Somewhat similarly to the OECS UBEC initiative, stakeholders from St. Vincent and the Grenadines UBEC project include the fisheries, agriculture, tourism, and waste management sectors.
We want to have enhanced resilience to the climate change, the protection of the coastal lines, and increase stimulation of the fisher folks. There's quite a lot of programs for the fisher folk. We have the coast insurance, there are initiatives, even with the OECS Commission for a grant component to stimulate young entrepreneurs who are in the blue economy space.
St. Lucia's UBEC project also focuses on fisheries, tourism, and waste management.
While fisheries and tourism seem very obvious because they exist in the blue space in the coastal and marine ecosystem, solid waste management plays a very important role, because to sustain the efforts and to sustain the investments that will go into tourism and fisheries, we need to ensure that there is a healthy environment. It's difficult to focus on one specific activity that I would say that I'm most excited about, because the outcomes overall accrue to better quality of life for citizens of the country. I'm very happy about the opportunities for job creation, especially for the new jobs. The dive park, for instance, would offer more jobs, something new that persons can get involved in. So that creates in itself a lot of opportunity. The issue of food security, when we focus on the fishery sector, is also something that I'm very excited about, because coming from the experience of COVID and the impacts that we've seen from other externalities, the conflicts in Ukraine and Russia, these have led to disruption in supply chains.
What the CIRC allows, it's a flexible mechanism that the World Bank has agreed with member states, whereby because we are dealing with very vulnerable countries, a very vulnerable region, often impacted by hurricanes and other disasters, when we have our project, there are several cases where you're in the middle of implementing a project and you are struck by a hurricane, for example, and that calls for that brings in the need for significant injection of capital to respond to the disasters by addressing urgent needs. Now you will have the situation where you have financing available under a project, but you cannot use it for any other means. The CIRC allows you now to repurpose some of that financing to address aligned issues associated with the impact of the disaster.
Opportunities are already being explored in the fisheries, tourism, and transportation sectors that exist in the region.
In terms of some of the fisheries and some of the transportation and tourism ventures that we already have in our region, but there are also segments of those industries that are not yet being explored, especially in a sustainable way. in a way that is green and sustainable. But there are new ventures that we need to explore in the ocean in terms of doing research to see opportunities with, say, pharmaceuticals and others. And so this blue economy is one that as the OECS region, we believe lies at the center of our growth and our sustainable, resilient development.
Thank you so much, Mr. Compton, for that excellent feature. A gentle reminder to our participants that you can feel free to post your questions. We do have a question and answer box. Please feel free to post your questions in this box. Now, we would like to welcome our first guest speaker, Mr. William Rodriguez, who will share his remarks on sustainable entrepreneurship and opportunities within the blue economy. William Rodriguez joined the International Trade Center in 2018 to coordinate projects in the Caribbean, including alliances for action programs promoting public-private partnerships for agribusinesses and sustainable food systems. Before ITC, he worked at the Market Access Division of the World Trade Organization and at an economics and trade consulting firm in the Dominican Republic. He has a degree in economics from PUCMM Santo Domingo, with a master's degree in international economic policies at Sciences Po Paris. Let's welcome Mr. William Rodriguez.
Thank you very much, Farzana, and congratulations for the OECS, the World Bank, and the UN. And again, congratulations to the OECS, the World Bank, and the UBREP program. I must say that this doesn't have only an impact on the blue economy, but also on the film industry. Congratulations for that video. It was really, really, really amazing. So congrats for that. And welcome all the participants. I'm very happy to be here. As Farzana mentioned, my name is William, and I work at International Trade Center. If you allow me, the organizers, they have invited the ITC to share some perspective of how the blue economy is a key driver for sustainability, and especially for our region in the Caribbean. I'm gonna share my screen if you allow. Okay, it's good. If you can confirm that you can see it, that would be great.
Seeing it, but it's not in presentation mode.
All right, it's going there.
Great, perfect.
So just as an introduction, for those of you that do not know the International Trade Center, we are a joint agency of the United Nations and the World Trade Organization. We are based here in Geneva, but we do have a lot of work in the Caribbean, a lot of presence in the region. Our executive director is Pamela Cook-Hamilton from Jamaica. I'm from Dominican Republic, so we do have a strong identity of the Caribbean in the organization. We are the UN agency that is dedicated to work with the small and medium enterprises to support companies to connect into regional and international value chains. And we do work in trade, business ecosystem, policies, market intelligence. In addition to also implement value chain projects, now we are implementing a project funded by the European Union that also covers the blue economy, and that's why we have been interacting with the colleagues of the OECS for some collaboration under this program as well. Just to touch a quick basis to have everyone on the same page about blue economy, because sometimes now we have all these acronyms and terms, terminologies that we just set for granted. What is the concept behind them? And of course, we have two ITC. We're following these two definitions from the Compete Caribbean and also the World Bank and the UN. But basically, for us, working in the Blue Economy Project is promoting course, the three pillars: social, economic, environmental inclusion, with an angle of oceans and coastal areas. Also, let's say, it's looking at all the resources that link the land and the blue, let's say the oceans, the river, all that ecosystem. So it's important when we think about blue economy that it's an ecosystem approach. It's not only, for, let's say, for the companies that are here present, even though they are not working, let's say, with water, their activities have a lot of implications on the blue economy itself as well. Just to give some of the figures globally about the importance of the blue economy at the how we see it at the global level, just 3 billion people depend on the ocean economy for their livelihoods. You know, the oceans now, when we're talking about this climate change and all the initiatives that we have for climate adaptation, for climate mitigation, the ocean is very important because 25% of all the CO2 is absorbed by the ocean. So they're really important. You might also have heard all this big, massive sector now on the carbon credits. So definitely the ocean is also a good source of this carbon credits, and working sustainability can also represent another diversification of income through this finance and investment component. When we're talking about the blue economy, there are so many industries that are related to it, and I'm sure most of the colleagues here are already part of these industries. Either you are in tourism, just traditional fishing, but then also we have emerging industries like aquaculture, renewable energies. You know, in the OECS there is a big program now on sargassum. We have seen different initiatives even by the OECS in Grenada, in St. Vincent, St. Lucia, working with sargassum, CMOS, but you know, the boats, service to the boats. There are many areas that are linked to the blue economy, and it's important to find the linkages between those and again promote the whole ecosystem. What is the rationale for ITC involvement? As I mentioned at the beginning, our core focus area is servicing the private sector, and that is, you know, also working with institutions, with governments. But the main idea is to increase the socioeconomic resilience of coastal communities. You know, it's important that we don't forget who are the backbones of this industry. You know, the small and medium enterprises, the fisher folks, they are key to promote developing the sustainability of these industries. You know, as we know, as economies evolve, countries grow, there could be a tendency to, let's say, over exploit our resources. So the fisher folks, the small and medium enterprises, they are the ones that are closer to the, let's say, to that source of richness. So they also have a good understanding on the different pressures that this economy can result in. So tourism, you know, we can coming from the Caribbean as well. Of course, we all love going to the beaches, but we also promote sustainable tourism in the matter that we would like to bring tourists to our economies, but if we exploit massively one beach and then in 20 years we cannot use it again, then what's the point? So there should be a way to have the sustainability behind it. But then also the blue economy is also a source for a lot of emerging, as I mentioned before, industries. There are a lot of opportunities for innovation, new products. So we mentioned, one colleague just came from the region, and she brought chocolate infused with CMOS. It was very good. You know, I was mentioning about sargassum, but all these mariculture, aquaculture ideas is also important, and opportunities for us in the region. So again, we want to stress that yes, this is a source of of income. This is also of this diversification, but we have to be also understand how to manage the local stressors, as we call it, that and to reduce the impact of climate change. There is room for a lot of opportunities to generate income, but we are also pay attention for the climate. We were working also on a project on let's say coconuts in the Caribbean, and we were working with a community in Jamaica where most of the beneficiaries of these coconuts products were fisher folks. So basically, we were providing also a diversification source of their income. Yes, they were fisher folks, but the days that they cannot go into the sea, the days that there is a bad catch, they were being affected by the pollution in their environment because of the agricultural practices. So it's also about merging the green and the blue in a way that is more sustainable for the future. And also, I would like to highlight this slide because we are here for this relaunch of the grants program. According to some figures, is business to invest into the blue economy. So the benefit of investing into it at 5 times higher than the cost. And we have mapped all these in your left, all these blue economy funds that are really into the space. Of course, in addition to this UBEC program, but these are global programs, foundations that they have really demonstrated that it really has a lot of benefits investing into the blue economy. Of course, economic benefits, but also health benefits and also on the environment. So yeah, the return on investment of investing into the blue economy is 5 times higher than the cost. So it's an important figure to stick to mind and to keep promoting programs like this, because we are really sure that they're going to bring a lot of benefits to our whole ecosystem. And just to say, ITC, we are working what we call Alliances for Action approach. We are also working in the Caribbean, but also seeds in other seeds economies. We're working also with different SMEs and institutions in the blue economy space. And the way we do it is on partnerships, of course. That's why we're happy to be invited here to this seminar led by the OECS and the World Bank. Because of course we understand that the other way to make impact is working with others to have sustainable value chains. For the blue economy, we have a framework. Basically, it's 4 work streams. Looking at first of upgrading the small scale fisheries, working with the communities, with the fisher folks, then linking with the innovation, promoting restorative mariculture, aquaculture, and conservation. Developing new products from waste. In this case, for the Caribbean, the first thing that comes to mind is, of course, the sargassum, which is really affecting our industries. And then an overarching pillar that links on diversifying, promoting market linkages, and responsible investment into the blue economy. So I think this also fits very well in what the UBEC program is developing right now. Again, some of our initiatives have received award for the seeds. Doing this reach to reef components, let's say linking the green and the blue. So this is a call also for all of us to share experiences. I'm sure all these companies that are receiving the matching grants have many stories to share and learn. So the spaces like this is very important for us to learn from our mistakes and then promote what are the good practices. And whenever you have a platform where you can share alliances, partnerships, and you are being able to achieve sustainable impact, it's important that mainly the companies raise their voices and raise their concerns, but also the good practices that they have faced, like programs like this. Just some of the programs and our interventions in the blue economy in the Caribbean. These are just a few. We have an important case study now and we were presenting at the Caribbean Week of Agriculture together with Cardi. We're working with a company in Barbados that they are, mainly a distributor of fish and seafood. But they have a lot of fish waste that they don't know what to do. So they bought this processor, this machine to turn this waste into a fertilizer. And now with Cardi, we are doing trials to test how this can be used as a fertilizer, which will be a huge impact into how the blue can have a great impact to the green, reduce the import of importing fertilizers, and then also sustainable practices. Now we're going through the different tests. But then again, we're also working in other countries in the OECS, like St. Vincent, with the CMOS Association to how to upscale their commercialization, how to, also link with the issues of the branding and the food safety aspects in Jamaica, with aquaculture, aquaponics, and in Grenada, as I mentioned, with as ITC being this part of the Sargassum task force that working with the EU under the EU Global Gateway there as well. Just to finish quickly, ITC, we are also always looking for companies that are interested into the blue economy. Under this program that we have, the European Union, ITC is also supporting MSMEs in the areas of finance and investment and commercial linkages. So all the companies interested to receive support in the blue economy, that of course we will also be linking up with the UBIC program. We are providing capacity building for those companies to be more investment ready and also to have more commercial linkages within the economy. So let me end up here and then go back to you, Farzana. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rodriguez, for that excellent presentation. For further elaboration on the blue economy and the link to our coastal ecosystems, as well as the involvement and synergies with ITC, I think it's amazing to note that the environmental and social benefits are 5 times higher than the cost, and it underscores the need to further support a blue economy in our small island developing states. Thank you once again, Mr. Rodriguez. We will now hear from Mr. Kyle Garns, Senior Grants Advisor at the OECS Commission. He will provide an introduction to the UBEC Matching Grant Program and an overview of the program objectives and design. Mr. Garns.
Thank you, Farzana. Share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you again, Farzana. So the project is called Unleashing the Blue Economy, and we thought the best way for us to really unleash the potential of the blue economy is by providing economic opportunities for MSMEs operating within the sectors of waste management, fisheries, and tourism. We wanted to create the perfect environment that will allow these MSMEs to grow and to prosper in their respective sectors. We see the Matching Grants Program as a financing mechanism with a plethora of opportunities. There is scope for entrepreneurs to increase employment and job opportunities, scope for us to increase productivity, promote innovation, build resilience, and of course, stimulate economic recovery post-COVID-19. So I'm just going to delve a little bit deeper into the design of the program. So the Matching Grants Program is not the conventional grant arrangement wherein we provide grants to 100% value to MSMEs. For the Matching Grants Program, we want to ensure that MSMEs are invested and committed to the success of the project. So with our program, we try to ensure that there's an appropriate match arrangement where the MSME is required to provide up to 30% of their total project costs to ensure that they're fully invested in the success of the project. To date, that has proven to be quite effective, and we will continue to adopt this approach to ensure that we have the full commitment of MSMEs as we proceed in implementing our project. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the program. So the program is segmented into 2 windows. Like you see, within the blue economy, there's a wealth of opportunities, and the same applies for the Matching Grants Program. So within the program, individual MSMEs could fish, in theory, for opportunities ranges from 5,000 to 25,000. They can apply for grants, small grants. Within window 2, we are trying to foster the collaboration of multiple MSMEs operating within the 3 sectors, and they can collaboratively apply for grants ranging from 100,000 to 200,000 US, 150,000 US dollars. In terms of the match arrangement for window 1, the Commission finances 70% of the total project cost up to a ceiling of 25,000 US dollars. And for window 2, the Commission finances 80% of the total funding up to a ceiling of 150,000 US dollars. So I'm just going to look at the Marshall Grants program in numbers. So the project is being implemented over a 3-year period from 2025 to 2028. It's being implemented in 3 countries: St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Grenada. We have 4.5 million US dollars being made available for grantees, and our target is to award 75 grants to MSMEs across the 2 windows. This consists of 60 grants for window 1 and 15 grants for window 2 across the 3 years. So in terms of the eligibility criteria, in order for an MSME to apply or benefit from the Marshall Grants program, they must be registered in either one of the 3 project countries, Grenada, St. Lucia, or St. Vincent and Grenadines. They must have a registered business or provide certificates of incorporation or any other evidence that substantiates their existence. If you're a fisherman operating within the fishery space, if you have a fisher's identification card, that will suffice. In addition, you will need to provide 2 years bank statements reflecting 2 years of transactions to support that you have been in operation for 2 years. And lastly, you must have less than 50 employees and generate less than $1 million US dollars on an annual basis. So what can we fund under the Marshall Grants program? Within the program, there's a wide scope of opportunity for MSMEs to finance things in your fisheries. You can purchase fishing equipment, you can conduct repairs to your boats, you can purchase engines, you can purchase other pieces of equipment that allow you to strengthen your operation. Within the waste management sector, there's scope for entrepreneurs to purchase key pieces of equipment that are relative to the waste sector. I have them captured here on the screen. And in the area of tourism, we also have a plethora of opportunities or areas in which MSMEs can finance the business. What we would also like to promote as we execute the Marshall Grants program, we want that person to apply, look at innovative ways that they can strengthen the operation. I know sometimes you are desirous of applying for a grant and you focus immediately on your operational challenges, but also see the Marshall Grants program as an opportunity to transform your operation. Look for new innovative elements that you can integrate within your business. So if you're a dive shop, you can look at having a mobile app. You can look at different pieces of equipment that are not readily available within your sector. That'll give you the cutting edge. I understand the need for MSMEs to address current deficiencies. You may have a challenge with a boat engine and you want it to be replaced, and that's understandable. Or you do want that you pay particular focus on bringing innovative ideas and ways that you can transform your operation. So I'm going to delve in a little bit more into the grantee profile. So like I said, there's a plethora of opportunity available for MSMEs and individual entrepreneurs operating within the 3 sectors. Provided here a list of potential applicants or potential grantees across the 3 countries. In the area of fisheries, there's scope for fishermen, seafood processors, seafood distributors. In the area of tourism, there's scope for dive operators, jet ski operators, small hotel operators. Within the area of waste management, there's opportunity for them to apply, have waste haulers, waste recyclers, and other key players within the waste management sector. And even if your business at present does not function within the blue economy, but you have an innovative idea that is tied to the blue economy, we still encourage you to apply. We try to provide grants to the most innovative proposals. It's not a first come, first serve scenario. We want to ensure that persons submit competitive proposals. So we try to encourage all persons to, if you have an innovative idea and it is aligned with the blue economy, you're welcome to apply, and you could be a beneficiary of the program. So I just want to delve a little bit more now into the grantees who have received grants for the first call for proposal. As you would have heard Mr. Imayo mention, we have 28 grantees across the 3 countries. We have 11 grantees from St. Vincent, 6 from Grenada, and 6 from St. Lucia. At present, these grantees are currently engrossed in executing their respective projects. We have been working very closely with the grantees to provide them with the requisite support to ensure that their projects are successful. I'm just going to spend a few minutes now, giving the grantees a little spotlight. Over the last few weeks, we've been working very closely with the grantees across the 3 countries to ensure that we can prioritize their disbursement requests and they can be receipt of their payments within a timely manner. We are also working with them to address any impediments or roadblocks which may be a challenge to their project implementation. And we also try to maximize their visibility, give them the requisite visibility that they deserve. So we have created a page on the OECS website, which highlights and captures all of the grantees across the 3 countries to give them the requisite visibility. We are also in the process of running a PR campaign to support the MSMEs. At present, we have a series of social media posts that are being done on a weekly basis. We do intend to complement this with a set of television interviews and radio interviews. The aim is to ensure that we can give the grantees as much visibility as they require, as much visibility as they deserve. And like I said, we have a page. I will share the link to the page online. So each person present can log in and see who the beneficiaries are, see who the grantees are, and to see their business and the projects that we are financing. So captured here are the list of grantees for each country. As you can see, for St. Vincent, we have a wide cross-section of good mixture, of entrepreneurs from the 3 sectors. The same thing is consistent with solution, a good mixture of MSMEs across the 3 sectors: waste management, fisheries, and tourism. And each of these proposals are very innovative and they are well placed to contribute to unleashing the blue economy. And lastly, for Grenada, the same thing applies. We have a good mixture of MSMEs across the 3 sectors. And what I would like to say before I transition back to Farzana is that I know at present we have close to 50 MSMEs currently on the call. I would like to know that by next year, when I do this presentation again, I will see their names here on the screen. So hopefully this will serve as motivation for you to apply, to ensure that your proposals are innovative, that you're looking to really transcend where you currently are. I know sometimes you try to focus on immediate operational challenges, but look beyond that, look long term, look at ways that you can really give yourself a competitive edge by having a proposal or submitting a proposal that really ruffles feathers, that really sparks new thinking, allows us to finance you with no issues. So I'm going to hand back the discussion to Farzana, and we will delve into the most important element of this discussion this morning, which is the call for proposals. So Farzana.
Thank you so much, Kyle, Mr. Garnes, for providing this introduction and detail on the Matching Grants Program. And once again, congratulations to the MSMEs who have already been awarded grants. I would like to remind participants once again to post your questions in the Q&A section. They are being compiled and will be addressed a little later in our launch. I will now invite Ms. Esley Marie, Grants Advisor at the OECS Commission, to provide information on the call for proposals. Ms. Marie?
Good morning, and thank you, Farzana, and good morning to everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be here today with us on this launch. I will now take you through the details of this second call for proposals under Window 1. This section will outline who can apply, how to apply, key dates, and what support is available to help you, the MSMEs, submit strong and competitive proposals. Okay, so under this call, individuals, as Kyle stated earlier, in the tourism, fisheries, and waste management sectors can apply for grants ranging from US $5,000 to $25,000. The total allocation for this round is USD $500,000, which will be targeting around 20 MSMEs across the 3 member states. The call opens officially on October 17th, which is today, and it closes on November 21st, 2025. And that obviously gives applicants roughly 5 weeks to prepare and submit their proposals. All the documents and information for this call are hosted on the OECS website. Once you visit www.oecs.int, look for the banner, the UBEC Matching Grants banner, or the section titled UBEC Regional MSME Matching Grants Program. There you will find the official call document, the application forms, the budget templates, and further guidelines which will help you in completing your submission. Alternatively, you can also simply Google search OECS MGP call for proposals. The link will appear among the top search results, and it will also take you directly to the matching grants page on the OECS website. This will make it easier for the MSMEs or partners who might not have the direct OECS link handy. Now, on the program page, you'll find a clear, structured layout, which gives you an overview of the call, followed by the eligibility details, downloads for the forms, and as well as submission instructions. Everything has been organized so that applicants can quickly find what they need and to avoid any confusion or missed requirements. Kyle recently went through this in his presentation. However, on this UBEC website, persons can view the eligibility guidelines, the criteria, and again, to quickly go through it, MSMEs must be registered and operational in St. Lucia, Grenada, or St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they must be in operation for a minimum of 2 years in the 3 targeted sectors of marine tourism, fisheries, and waste management. They must have a valid business registration, a functional bank account, and demonstrate that their proposed activity actually contributes to the sustainable practices within their sector. This obviously is for only existing businesses that meet this criteria can apply. We have also noticed that fisherfolk may have a slight issue in possibly creating a business registration, and as a result, we have allowed them to submit their fisher identification card once it has been valid for a minimum of 2 years. So along to this selection criteria, which is also on the UBEC website, proposals will be assessed in 4 main areas: the relevance, the impact, the feasibility, and the value. The relevance of the proposal looks at how well the project aligns to the blue economy priorities. The impact assesses the job creation, the resilience of this MSME, and their sustainability outcomes. The feasibility checks for project readiness and capacity, and the value ensures that the budget requested matches realistic, cost-effective outcomes. So to apply, all MSMEs must complete the grant application form, as well as the grant budget form, which is provided on the UBEC site. The form guides applications through describing their business, describing what the project objectives are, the activities of said project, and the results after that project has been implemented. So it's extremely important that applicants only utilize the official template for the application form and grant budget form, which is on the OECS website, and follow the structure of it exactly as it is outlined. There is also a updated frequently asked questions FAQ document and a guideline document, which will be there to support applicants once more. These really outline the most common questions that we've received in our previous round. For example, eligible course, co-financing expectations, and the eligibility requirements. We want to encourage persons to review these documents carefully because it really helps applicants to avoid any sort of disqualification and as well address their queries that they may have prior to beginning their application. Completed applications must be submitted electronically to ubecgrant@oecs.int. The email subject line for that application must clearly state the name of your business, followed by Window 1 Matching Grants Proposal. All the supporting documents, which are your business registration or your Fisher Folk identification, if you are using that, your financial statements or your bank statements, so you have that either option, and your grant application budget. These should all be attached in PDF format. Handwritten submissions and hard copy applications will not be accepted. So we know that this launch was a quick overview, but we also want to delve a bit deeper, and to assist our applicants, the team will host 2 virtual information sessions. The first is on Thursday, October 23rd at 10 a.m. And the next one will be on Monday, 10th November at 10 a.m. These are virtual sessions, and essentially, as I said, we will be walking MSMEs or potential applicants through the application process step by step. And then we also provide you with an opportunity to ask us direct questions about your eligibility, documentation, how to phrase certain responses in the application form, anything that will help you to submit a really great proposal, which will, as Kyle said, will shine, and it's also innovative. Okay, so the session links will also be shared on the OECS website and social media channels. So just to recap the key dates, the qual opens officially today, October 17th, and it closes on November 21st, which is 5 weeks from now. In addition, the deadline to request clarifications is November 13th. So if you have any questions, you can email the team and we'll be able to respond to you. And the last date that we will provide you with these clarifications will be on November 18th. We strongly want to encourage MSMEs and applicants to start preparing early to avoid last-minute submissions and ensure that all required documents are complete. Finally, after the submission deadline, all proposals will undergo a structured evaluation process. They will be evaluated according to their financial capacity, the relevance of the project, the effectiveness and feasibility, the sustainability, the environmental and social impact, and the budget and cost effectiveness. Followed by this, we will do an internal compliance check, technical evaluation by the independent reviewers, and an interview process. Successful applicants will move forward through the contracting phase. And ultimately, we just want to let everyone know that this process ensures that it is extremely fair, we are transparent, and it aligns with the blue economy priorities of each participating member state. Okay, so I just want to thank you all again for your time and your attention, and I would like to pass back to Farzana.
Thank you so much, Ms. Marie, for providing information on what the MSMEs can expect under this call for proposals and for providing instructions on accessing information for this call for proposals. I note that Kyle has placed a link to the grantee page in the chat. So we would like to encourage you, participants, and MSMEs to access the page for all relevant information. So we've now reached the question and answer session. Thank you so much to our participants for placing your questions in the Q&A box. So I will now hand over to Mr. Kyle Garns and Ms. Esley Marie once again to facilitate the Q&A and address the questions received.
Thank you very much, Farzana. Just going through the question and answer box. So we will start with the first question. I will read out the questions and Mr. Garns will provide the answers to them. So the first question is from Mr. Brad Gentner. He was asking in relation to the $1 million cap. Is that on total revenues or net revenues? And is this in US or XCD currency?
It is on total revenue and is in ECD.
Great, thank you. So to reiterate, this is on total revenues and the currency is Eastern Caribbean dollars. Okay, Azuba Jacobs asked, would the recording be sent to participants? Yes, that's correct. We will be sending this recording to all persons who registered and are on this call today. Mr. Arthur Antoine asked, where's the link to the grantees page? This link will be shared to all.
Yes.
Okay, so Kyle said he put it in the chat, so you should be able to access it from there. But it will also be shared on our social media Facebook page where other persons can click it and access it. Melanie asked that she noticed that formal registration is a key eligibility criteria. Given that many MSMEs in the blue economy operate informally, is there any flexibility or complementary support envisioned to help them access the program or transition toward formality? Great question, Melanie.
Yeah, so in the fishery sector, if you are operating as a fisherman but you don't have any documentation or you don't have a registered business, what we can use is your fisher's identification card as proof that you've been playing your trade for a period of over 2 years. We try to be flexible and accommodating. We always try to also promote that enterprises tend to register their business. I know the fishery space is different, so we tend to be a bit more flexible within the fishery space. But for the other sectors, we will ask that you provide us with any additional documentation that you have that can substantiate your ability or your history of working within your particular sector for over 2 years as an entrepreneur.
Great.
But you also want to use this as an opportunity to encourage MSMEs to be formalized, to go and get your business registered so you can stand to benefit from these opportunities.
Thank you, Kyle. And to also touch on the business support.
Yes. Yes, in addition, we have 3 consultants working with MSMEs in the 3 countries. The consultants are possibly on the call right now. They can share their contact details with you. But these consultants are working with various MSMEs to help them to scale up. So if you're not registered as yet, they're going to provide you with the requisite information how to go about registering your business, and they're going to provide you with additional hand-holding support in the area of sales and marketing, financial management, HR, other areas are critical to the execution of your business.
Thanks, Kyle. Perfect. Someone asked, can we submit more than one proposal? Unfortunately, we are only, you can only submit one proposal per MSME. If you have various businesses, you would still only be allowed to submit one proposal. Okay, So there is only one proposal that you can submit under this window. Marie-Louise Felix asked, can educational institutions that are conducting research to support business enterprises, and in doing so, collaboration with stakeholders such as fisherfolk, apply?
At present, we tend to focus on the provision of grants to enterprises that are revenue-centric. So we want to ensure that we provide grants to enterprises that are well placed to really trigger economic growth, and not saying that we do have a preference, or we have a preference exclusively to these types of MSMEs, but we also want to ensure that the funds are utilized in best, most effective way. And we thought that by providing grants to these enterprises, we are better placed to achieve our objectives. Not-for-profit enterprises, education institutions don't really have a profit-centric focus. They're always research-based, so therefore we can't really achieve our core objectives of the project by providing grants to these enterprises. But if you do have a proposal that is profit-centric or that focuses on revenue generation, we will give it some degree of consideration.
Thank you, Kyle. Someone asked if we could provide them with the details for the business development consultants here, or are they listed elsewhere? What I can ask you to do is to email us at mgp.unit@oecs.int. We will put that in the chat box for information regarding the business development consultant, if you would like to get in contact with one of them. Okay. If applicants are successful, how are grants awarded? Is it through cash, reimbursement, or to the supplier?
Yes, we provide grants to MSMEs in two modalities. We either transfer the funds directly to the MSME, or we pay the vendors. But this is dependent on the profile of the MSME. If the MSME has good record-keeping practices, are able to effectively manage their grants, then we transfer the funds directly to the MSMEs. If there's a high risk that we will not be able to efficiently manage or oversee the execution of the MSME's grant, then we will transfer funds directly to the vendors.
Thank you, Kyle. Carla asked, are there any accommodations for persons who have been operating under 2 years?
At present, no. There's no degree of flexibility in that regard. Well, if you have information that substantiates your existence beyond that 2 years, but it's not documented, you feel free to share it with us, and we will give it some degree of consideration.
In addition, Carla, this program has another 2 sets of calls. So most likely during that period, if your business is under 2 years, you should be able to apply in the last call for proposals for this window.
One thing I'd like to add as well too is this not 2 years of existence, it's 2 years of being in business. So sustain activity over a 2-year period, not just business registration.
Great. And we do have a shout out, and I do want to say that we would like to shout out our business support consultants, Rosemary, Simone, and Janelle. In the 3 member states. So you all have truly been on the ground and assisting our MSMEs, and they are quite appreciative of that. So thank you very much. And final question from Kamhol Gray. How do we contribute our 30%? Is this through cash or in-kind service?
Yes, so 20% is in cash and 10% is in kind.
Okay, so further details on the breakdown and what can be used as in kind will be provided in our information sessions. As I said, one of it is in Thursday, October 20th, and another one in November. So that will bring us to the end of our Q&A session. I want to thank everyone for participating, and we hope we have answered your questions. Over to you, Fazana.
Thank you so much, Esley, Kyle, and thank you to everyone who posed your questions and shared any comments. Thank you so much. Now we've come to one of the most exciting parts of today's event, the official opening of the second call for proposals under Window 1 of the UBEC Regional MSME Matching Grants Program. This marks another major step forward in empowering MSMEs to innovate, expand, and drive sustainable growth across our blue economy sectors in St. Lucia, Grenada, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It is therefore my great pleasure on behalf of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Commission to officially declare the second call for proposals for Window 1 open. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks again to all of our partners, permanent secretaries, our strategic partner, development partners, and all MSMEs for joining us today. This concludes the official launch of the UBEC Regional MSME Matching Grants Program, Window 1, held under the theme Transforming Lives Through the Blue Economy, Empowering MSMEs for a Sustainable Future. Do have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing your proposals. Thanks again.